Hi, today we're in the beautiful town of Solvang, California, Santa Barbara County. We're visiting old Mission Santa Ynez, established in 1804 AD. This is Highway 246. You turn down at 1760 Mission Drive for the museum and the gift shop. This quaint little road here is protected by our Peruvian peppercorn trees. These guys are really big and healthy right now. It's called Scinis moye. That's his scientific name. Gives us great peppercorns. You can grind them up, use them as a substitute for your normal pepper. Here we have our beautiful mission, Santa Ynez. It's one of our 21 Spanish missions throughout Alta California, nicknamed the hidden gem of the missions. Described with its simple, straightforward exterior, perfect for what a ripe old mission should look like. Sits on 95 acres. This bell tower here, right, the original bell tower was destroyed during a big storm in 1911. So they rebuilt this one here with those three beautiful bells up there. This structure here is one of the original arches of the mission. That's pretty cool. I'll show you that later. It's on the National Register of Historic Places, named after St. Agnes of Rome, founded September 17, 1804, by the Franciscan Padre Esteban Tapiz. He chose this spot simply because it was the midpoint between Mission Santa Barbara and Mission La Purísima Concepcion. The original church was destroyed by an earthquake in 1812. This new church here was built with 6-foot walls, and great huge beams were brought down from the nearby Figueroa Mountains. So it re-officially opened in 1817, and then in 1819 a water-powered grist mill was erected about a half mile down the road. And then in 1821 they added a fulling mill to help process their cloth and wool. This structure down here in front, that's the Mission Reservoir. Right down there with all that water, built in 1804. And the reservoir, well, it received water from the dam and aqueduct built by the Chumash. The dam is located along the Alamo Pintado Creek about 2 miles from here. And the water was stored in this area and then pumped through a little underground pipeline to the Mission Village about 200 yards to the south of here. Here we have a little monument, Mission Santa Ynez, National Historic Landmark, 1999. So this place here was not without its problems. 1824, a page overheard the priest talking about killing all the local Chumash tribesmen living at the mission. And the page went and warned the natives. When the priest found out, they cut off his feet and his tongue. They burned him to death. Then the natives revolted in what's called the Chumash Revolt of 1824. Then after that, most of the natives, they fled the mission to join other tribes up the mountains. In 1835, the New Mexican government replaced all the Spanish Franciscans, replaced them with their own Mexican Franciscans. And the new leaders mistreated the Chumash even more. So eventually all the Chumash, they kind of fled the territory and their lands were given away to the New Mexican settlers. Various land grants, pretty common out here. Then later in the 1900s, the Danish town of Solvang was built up. In 1911, there was a big storm that, of course, collapsed a lot of the church, including the bell tower up there. But the residents of Solvang, they teamed up to help fix up the mission. 1947, the Hearst Foundation donated a bunch of money to complete the final restoration. And that's what we have today. We're going to head inside the grounds here. Check out what's inside. Here's inside our gift shop, all sorts of crystal and dishes and fancy objects you can buy. Hey, so we're inside the mission. That's $8 for the self-guided tour. This is room number 1. Some great art, and a whole timeline here of our mission. Here's the reservoir I just showed you. Right here, what it used to look like. And here's a picture of the mission here. 1812, where they had that large earthquake that destroyed a lot of it. Looks like a confession booth right here. And here's one of the bells from the original tower of 1807. It's cast in Lima, Peru by a guy named Manuel Vargas. This is called the music room. Okay, we have hymns and music, some instruments here. That's a cool art. And here's the wardrobe room here. All these cool garments. There's a fellow right up there wearing one of these. Okay. More artwork here called Our Lady of Sorrows, oil on canvas. The Virgin of Guadalupe, 19th century. Our Blessed Mother from Lima, Peru, oil on canvas. It's a gift here, 2008. It's called the Divine Shepherdess, oil on canvas of the late 18th century. This is called La Peregrina, Our Lady of the Journey. It's a wood figure. We're entering the Mission Church. Holy moly. This is beautiful. Wow. Here's our sanctuary altar here. It's great. So we exit the church at these beautiful arch wooden doors here. Please close as you leave. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a beautiful courtyard garden. The statue in the garden. See, we have here, the sign says, for us today. It says, today's interior garden is ornamental and 1/3 of the original size. From 1804 to 1834, it was the center of activity for a large ranch operation. It's called the Grotto of St. Joseph. There we are. Out here's the cemetery. And here, let's see what this is. Oh. Anyway, this was the first higher education institution in California. Built in 1844 as the first seminary of the future state of California was established here. These beautiful gardens and cemetery. We're going to walk around this way. Here we have a statue of Fray Junipero Serra. He's the founder of all the California missions. He lived from 1713 to 1784. Here in the back we have a smaller Blessed Sacrament Chapel. Open the door. It's open for visitors. Please be respectful. So here's the view of the back of our mission. And the quarters were really set up in 3 different areas. So the married couples with their children lived in one area, and the single females lived in another, and the single males lived in another. So it kept them all orderly and behaved. Out here, this is our little grape exhibit. These are called Criolla vines. They're direct descendants of Listan Prieto. He's the first vinifera grapes were planted in California by Franciscan friars in 1769. They came from Spain as early as the 16th century, but they're all kind of dried up right now. There's a little placard talking about our vineyard here. Out here's a beautiful rose garden. It's kind of early in the season right now, but it's called the Mission Rose Garden right here. This here is original 19th century arch of the first church in 1804. So it's one of several arches that are still remaining. Here in our rose garden, we have some beautiful California poppies coming in. These are from the genus Schultzia. Beautiful poppies. The bees just love getting in there. There's a bee right there. There he is. Here we have one last look at our beautiful mission. Right here. Down here, the whole valley. Beautiful vineyard down here. And our last stop is called El Calvario. Called the 12 Stations of the Cross. Jesus' crucifixion right here. So start on the right. First of all, he's condemned to death, right, by Pontius Pilate here. He's washing his hands because he says, "My hands are clean of this vile act." He says something like that. Over here we have Jesus. He's carrying his cross, of course. And over here he falls down for the first time. All right. Station 4. He meets his mother, the Virgin Mary here. He gives his blessings to her. And then Simon comes out of the fields, helps Jesus here. Okay. Then he meets Veronica right here. He consoles here. "Do not weep for me," of course. And Jesus, he falls for a second time. He falls 3 times, I believe, as we walk down here. And later on, he speaks to the women along his little journey to the crucifixion. He falls for a 3rd time. Here, he's getting weary and weak. Then he's stripped of his garments by the guards, of course. Bear with me, we have 4 more to go. And then he's nailed to the cross. Of course, we're kind of going in order here. And then here's where Jesus dies on the cross. Down here they take him down from the cross here. They put him in his tomb, protected by a giant stone. Here. And of course he's resurrected right up here. And he is saved, or he saved us. More like it. So that's our beautiful church and the story of Jesus's crucifixion and the 12 stages of the cross and our chapel and everything else. So everything you wanted to know about Santa Ynez Mission, our Mission Santa Ynez up here in Solvang of Santa Barbara County, California. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.